Hello everyone, this is Robert, 50 years of chess. We're approaching Christmas and the New Year, and I'm sure we're all going to have a great time. And I hope you are having a great time watching the videos. I brought another game to you. It's a game against a young 23-year-old Indian arena chess master. He is someone I've never played before. I don't know his style, I don't know what he's like, but he's got the CM title, so it's useful. So I'm white, he's black, and in this game I'm going to show you something which I think you might find interesting. So let's begin the game. I played e4, he played d6, knight f3, bishop d7. Very unusual, very unorthodox. b3 and queen c8. What is he doing? What is he doing? I don't understand this. Is this a kind of funny kind of chess openings people play when they're using software? But I don't think he is. Bishop b2, a6, d4. Well, I'm going to go ahead and carry on grabbing the space in the center, get a strong center. And usually if you get a strong center, it gives you a bit of an advantage. Knight c6, knight on 1 to d2, h6. So he's developed both his flank pawns on A and H. That is kind of getting some space back on the B and G file. A6, E5. So here's the first skirmish between us, but this can't be right because after pawn takes pawn, pawn takes, I just take with the bishop and knight and I'm a pawn up. Why has he done this? This is a question you always got to say when you see you're going to win material. Is there some kind of trick, or is there something my opponent is doing, or has he just blundered a piece away or a pawn away? In which case I believe he's blundered a pawn, so I'm going to take it. Knight takes knight, bishop takes, and bishop takes pawn. So there we are. He's blundered a pawn away. He's got nothing in exchange for it. I'm convinced of that. I can't see no tricks, no traps or anything. So good. We have an advantage. Knight f6. Bishop back to b2. I think that's the best place for it. Tucked to where it was before, and then it can't be attacked, and it can do a lot of damage from long range on the a1 h8 diagonal. Bishop e7. He's carrying on developing now. Bishop d3. I'm doing the same. f5. Interesting, but nothing to be concerned about at this time. Queen e2. b5. So he seems like he's forming a plan to attack me down my queen side. Again, there's nothing at the moment to worry me. So I'm going to just play c4 just to put a stop to any more pushing forward of that c pawn of his. Rook b8. Now he's finally made one good move, because after pawn takes pawn, if I took with the pawn, b takes c, he's got rook takes on b2, he gets a bishop. So that would be bad for me, but obviously I wouldn't do that. My plan would be pawn takes pawn would be bishop takes, then he can't get the bishop on b2. So I just played my bishop into e5 anyway, attacking that rook, and he's brought it up to b6. That's not a bad move in a way. He might be able to swing it across later, attacking my king should I castle kingside. So I've castled. Bishop h3. Well, obviously I can't allow him to stay there, so I brought my queen to f3, and I'm threatening to go pawn takes bishop, and he can't do much else, so he has to move it. Bishop back to g4, queen to e3, and now so he is thinking of, I think, bringing his rook across from b6 to g6 to improve his attack. So these sort of things you have to look for you have to try to work out what is my opponent trying to do. Remember, there's two of you playing this game, not just one. You're trying to do nasty things to your opponent, but he may be thinking the same thing. And so you have to be playing two types of chess. One is offensive and the other is defensive. And often you have to play prophylactic moves which prevents things from happening before they actually do. So, first of all, we attack the bishop. But he ignores that and attacks my queen. Now, this is okay to play this, providing that white doesn't play a move that improves his game and still leaves you with a piece on pre, which will then lose you a tempo when you've got to move that bishop away. So I push the pawn on. f4. This is attacking the bishop on g5, and he plays bishop takes pawn. What is he doing? He's just lost more material now. He's lost more material. Bishop takes bishop. I've now got 3 minor pieces to his 2, and he's got nothing to show for it. So he's gone rook g6, bishop h3, and then maybe the plan is to bring the queen out there somewhere as well, where the bishop is now, perhaps. Not sure, but he probably can't before he does anything else. So I push the pawn on to e5, attacking his rook. So he's got to get his rook off there. He can't stay on that g file. So he's moved it to e6, stopping any pawn push, and just keeping a grip on the centre. So I played knight in now to d4. This is a nice developing move for my knight. It helps the queen attack the c pawn, which he has to do something about. But he takes a bishop. Not a good idea. Because now when I retake the queen, I'm attacking f7 check, but I'm also attacking the bishop. So the two threats in one. So his only answer, I would say, is to go bishop h5, protecting that pawn on f7. And then if I play g4, he could go back rook to g6, so I can't take the pawn. But more likely, no, he can't play rook g6, because I would play queen takes pawn, check. So no, he would play bishop back to g6. Well, that's what he'll do, I guess. But, oh no, he's castled. No, he's just dropped another minor piece. What's he thinking of? Queen takes. He can't play f5, pinning the knight and queen, so I can just say he takes f. So what? What is he doing? So he's gone queen now to d8, attacking the bishop on d3. Do I move the bishop, or do I have a plan? Sneaky plan that could win me something, like a nice tactic. I've got knight takes c5, attacking the rook and defending the bishop. But then it's taken the knight away from my attack against this king. So I've got another plan. Can you see what it is? There, queen f5. Why would I leave my bishop on pre? Well, if queen takes bishop, I've got knight f6 check, and then I've got queen takes queen. So regardless of what he does with the knight, whether he takes it, I still take the queen. So that's okay. So he played g6. g6 attacking my queen. So queen f3 looks to be the right move, but I'll drop the e pawn. I can't protect the bishop. So really I gotta go knight check. It could go rook takes knight, and after queen takes, he's got queen takes bishop. Or after, even if I play pawn takes, he'd take my queen. So I should really go back queen f3, but I know what I did at the time. I played knight f6. Looking at it now, I don't think I would have played this back then. So knight f6. You should just take the knight, I think, with the rook. And then after queen takes, or yeah, it's got to be queen takes. I don't know. Maybe rook takes knight. Don't have to do that. But that would get him some material back somewhere. He would get the knight and the bishop, I think, for the rook. So king to h8, queen back to f3. I've got to let that e-pawn drop. So he checks first of all with queen d4, king h1, and now he plays pawn takes c4, attacking the bishop. And I can just play bishop takes on c4, and he can play rook takes e4. So he's got some activity, which is with his rook and the queen. His king's a bit dodgy at the back there. So I now brought my rook on a across to d1, developed it nicely, attacking his queen. He plays queen b2. I move my queen up, attacking that h6 pawn. I don't care if he takes the a pawn, this queen will be out of the game temporarily. In times like that, you don't need to take the pawn, you've got to keep your pieces active. So what he's done to block me from taking that pawn is play rook g5, and he's counter-attacking my attack with a mate threat on. So I block that with rook g2, queen c3, rook d3, attacking again, queen a1 check, rook back to c1, and again he goes back to b2, now attacking that pawn. Yeah, it's a bit of a nuisance, but I'm not going to let him get a draw out of this, so I played queen takes rook. Can you see why I did that? This is a game changer. I've just given my queen away. What do you think of that then? Was it a good move or not? Let's have a look. What happens if he plays pawn takes queen? Do I have something? I think I do, don't you? Let's have a look. Pawn takes queen. Rook check on h3. Can only go to g7 and then rook down to h7 check. And that's game over. It's checkmate. It happened all so sudden, didn't it? But I'd been planning that when I left the rook on his queen. I saw the check then, and I could play the queen sack if he kept that rook in that position. So he didn't see it, he wasn't watching, and this is a common reason why a lot of players don't improve much, is they don't look at what their opponent's doing enough, and because of that they lose games where they shouldn't have lost in the way they did. In this case he was 2 pieces down, so he was going to lose probably to a player of my experience, but it was sloppy and he shouldn't have allowed me to checkmate him like this. That rook should have moved. It had to go really to h5, but chasing his queen around, he didn't get much chance to do it, did he? So there we go. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all again soon, and once more have a nice Christmas if I don't see you between now and then.